bruv, to break the ice, have things people want. So we just went and bought bottles of water. You know, £2 for 12. We just bought bare of those. And so we just have the water on the table. And so people are like, oh, can I get a bottle of water? Yeah, sure. And then all of a sudden you can have a conversation. So if you're someone that's not that vocal and not that out there, then just have things on your table that will entice people to break the ice.
So for our audience that may be shy or think that they don't want to be out there, don't want to be visible and meet people, what advice could you give them when it comes to meeting new people and building relationships?
Be authentic, be genuine, because being you can open doors. Like, there's only one you, and no one can replicate your traits, your personality, your skills. Yeah,
and don't feel like you need to be perfect. Like, that's one of the biggest things that holds us back.
Guys, we're back on the Bread and Butter podcast. We got our guests in the building. We've got Raphael in the building.
Yes.
Bro, one thing we always ask people when they jump on, what is your bread and butter? So can you tell the people, what is your bread and butter?
What is the bread and butter? To like what I do to success?
Day? How do you contribute to your household? How do you look after your family?
Oh, I like that. Bread and butter. Wake up, help. Bath the kids. I help. It's part of my job. So I'm bathing the kids as well, taking them to either nursery or school. And then it's just to grind, back to work, 9 a.m. team calls, either in the office or working from home. Yeah, that's me.
So you're an author. You got a couple of businesses under your belt. Tell them people a bit about your businesses.
Yeah, sure. Author of 2 books. So co-authored Twice as Hard, my first book, with my wife in 2021, and just published my second book with Penguin Business, Together We Thrive, which is all about community. And founder and CEO of the UK Black Business Show and UK Black Business Week, which is the biggest business show in the UK and Europe for Black business owners and professionals. And outside of that now, we've also got Birmingham Black Business Show.
Amazing.
We've got Black Tech Achievement Awards, which is in the UK and the US.
Amazing.
We've also got SOAR, which is the first bank-backed membership platform for Black entrepreneurs, with HSBC. And I think that's it. Yeah. I think that's it at the moment. Yeah.
Come on. I think for me, Raphael, I like to call him Soft, is probably one of my favorite people on the planet. Like, and I mean that not just as a person, but in what he's done. Like, I don't think there's many more people that I can say I respect more than I respect you for your hustle, for your hard work, for your dedication, for how you are when it comes to business, for how you treat your wife. Like, Raph loves his wife, I swear, he loves his wife. Like, if you're around, you'll see he loves his wife. Like, proper loves his wife. And it's not often you see a man that is doing numbers, and we'll get into the numbers and what he's doing and all of that, but still takes time, love his wife, loves his kids, loves his family. Like, and it's so important to show that.
Yes.
But what you do, like, in regards to, you're a man that learned a skill, made money learning a skill, and he said, how do I bring that skill back to our community? And I think that's something we tell our listeners all the time. Like, what are you doing to add value beyond just yourself? You are a living example that when you can take a skill that you've got and say, who can I really help with this thing that I've got? You can make a difference. I always tell people, me here today, sitting here today, I wouldn't be here today without the opportunity that you gave me.
So let's talk about that then. How did that come about?
Bro.
How did tell them about the Black? Tell them about before you did the Black Business Show, where you're working at, what you were doing, and then we'll get to the Black Business Show.
Let's take it from uni. Let's go a quick glance through the career, because obviously we're talking about an extremely big business or businesses.
Yeah.
And we'll get into that in a bit more depth so the audience can really understand what we're really talking about.
Yeah.
Right. But I want you to talk about university and the jobs that you did through them, because it's always important to understand that you might have come from a similar position that a lot of these people were at, basically. So go for it.
Yeah, definitely. I think, well, uni, I was studying law and business in uni, but yeah, I was a rapper as well.
Yeah.
As most people,
Yeah.
We have to get that out.
was doing music, which was definitely like my main passion. So I would invest probably a lot of my energy on that. So in terms of like, if I got money, I would use it on making sure I get those mixtapes or studio time, paying for music videos.
Tell people about the type of, what were you saying in your lyrics? Tell them.
My lyrics,
The lyrics were hard. Don't make them feel like you're a rapper, like you're talking some baby stuff. You were talking.
You know, it's so funny. I get messages on Instagram like, "Is that you? Is that?" I get lots of messages. It's just like, you switched it up, man. But yeah, I had a lot of, stuff for the mandem.
Yeah.
But also had some girl tunes as well. Had some. But yeah, I think I was good. I think I was quite good. Like I had some plays on like radio stations.
Oh, nice, man.
That's where I also met like Jamal Edwards as well. Rest in peace. Years ago, when he messaged me, DM'd me, he was like, "You're gonna blow." He's like, "Come on, SVTV." So. Yeah, it was like one of my biggest passions. But there's so much that I learned in doing music that I still use in business. Which I'd love to kind of talk about that. At some point I'll fully like go into it. But yeah, it was an interesting journey. And then again, uni, law and business. You finish uni and you're like, I really, really enjoyed law. Really enjoyed law. Actually was like, okay, I could probably become a lawyer. Really liked it. And at some point after uni, I was just kind of stopped like the music. So I guess some of the stuff that I was saying didn't really relate to kind of who I was now.
Yeah.
Especially I was like getting closer to God, etc. So I was just like, I want to make money. And I looked at getting into law and I saw all of this 7 years and I was just like, I can't do it, So I just got into sales, got my first job at a company called Archant. And it was a telesales job selling advertising space in loads of like local prints. Yeah. So like Hackney Gazette, Ham and High. So I went to the interview. This was my first job I got after, it's hard after uni getting jobs because rejected. Came into the interview and then sat down, did the interview. And then after, the lady said to me, she was like, I've got to be honest, I just had this interview out of procedure. I'd already hired someone. And she was like, you know what, your CV doesn't give you justice. But you know what? I've hired him, but I'm going to hire you. I'm going to ask for more budget. She was like, you was that good. Wow. And that's the first opportunity I got my job because even though the job was gone, she still made a space for me because of, how I came across, how I prepared. So I always appreciate Elaine. I always appreciate Elaine for giving me that opportunity. So came into that job as well as very young out of uni. And I was just so hungry with sales. I was just hitting the phone. And then a lady came up to me and she said, you know what, you're not going to be here for long. You're really good in sales. I was just like, oh, okay, cool. Then suddenly I was just, cool, this is a nice place. Where can I get more money in sales? Looked for other sales. So
just on that sales role, what did it look like on a day-to-day? Was it very, very intense? Was it cold calling?
It was a lot of cold calling. I wasn't getting, it was all new business for me. There was people around who would get accounts handed to them. But the younger people, they're like, you need to be doing cold calling. You need to get your new business. But when I tell you I was hungry, I'd be going home after work and looking for potential clients that I could phone in the morning when I come in. So I was just really like, how could I make this money? So there was, funny enough, the person who started at the same time as me, he was a white boy. I fully outdone him in sales. And then another guy came up to me, halfway through my time there, he was like, when you started, we thought he was going to be the good one. But it was just how he came in. He was a very white, posh boy. Yeah. I was like a young black man. I didn't dress like him. I didn't speak like him. But in terms of sales, I fully outdone him. I was working hard at work, but also no one knew I was working hard outside of work as well, which gave me the advantage. I was doing more than him. He just didn't know, right? He's just thinking, we're both on this phone call at the same time. Why am I not? But I was just just do more. That's
Yeah.
one of the things that I always tell, just do more than others sometimes.
Yeah. I wanted to ask as well, because there's going to be a lot of young people that may be listening to this. And I always say that I think that I'm learning more and more that sales is just a great way to make money in general, just the overarch of sales. You will get a lot of no's as well, though. Other than you just being willing to do more than the other person, which is so important in sales, is there any one thing that you think gave you the edge over the other person?
One thing, I think I came across different in myself. I wasn't you get like the Cockney salespeople. You get loads of different type of sales.
Yeah.
But I came across different. I just kind of just brought my personality. I wasn't hugely outgoing on the phone. I was just really kind of understanding that consultant, just understanding your business. I think that's what kind of brought me like most of my success in my sales job. And whatever job that I went into, it was always like, Raphael's quiet. But then when I go in, I get the numbers. They started calling me quite the silent assassin. Because they were calling me silent because they're like, this guy's mad quiet. He don't really talk to anybody in the office. Like, talks to a few people, but he's just getting the sales in. Like, that's all he's come for.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? To get his job done, which kind of, most black people, when they didn't feel comfortable in work, they just came to do their job anyway.
Yeah.
But I feel like, that's probably one of the things that gave me like the edge, I would say.
And then just before you move on, I think that you said something that's so important. And I'm so big on stuff like this. When you mentioned about the fact that there was no job available, but they made something happen. And I think that for people listening, like, keep on aiming higher than what people have set out for you. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Sometimes we need to ask ourselves, are we looking for ordinary blessing or extraordinary blessing? Do you get what I'm trying to say? So when they say that you need this and that, but you don't have it all, still feel free to apply and go and try and talk your stuff, basically, because you managed to do it and you're a living example. So what was next after that sales job?
After that sales job was probably, I would say, one of the most important jobs in my journey. So I went to work for a financial market website, and I was selling digital advertising there, and was, again, really, really good at it. Really got lots of new business, which no one expected. And then I was managed by a guy who I learned a lot from sales about, just his style, how he would talk to people, etc. It took me up another level in terms of how to speak to people. And during that company, we were selling digital advertising, but they also had a exhibition conference on the side that you could sell to get extra money. And this show was called the UKBB Show. So I was like, if I can earn a bit more money, like, no one's really in the team focusing on it. No one's focused on it, but mainly most of their sales for this event was outsourced. They had another, but it was like, you lot can sell on it as well, because it was basically another company that the owner owned. So you weren't penalized if you didn't sell on it, but if you did, you make more money. Cool. So I started pitching it as well, along with and I started getting quite a few deals, and I was the only one on my team who was selling stands for it. So I thought, cool, that's brilliant, dope, making more money. And then I actually went to the event, UK Investor Show. It was at the QE2 Centre, hence you can see where this is kind of going. So I went to the event. Also a part of the team, at that point was bagging up the bags, helping in terms of putting the goodie bags, etc. So went to the event, and I walked in and I was blown away. I walked in and I saw like thousands of people here, big banks, big companies. But I also didn't see any black people there. But I still thought this is amazing. But then that was one of the things that triggered me to be like, what if the black community had events where you could walk around and speak to other black people that would help you? Because I was looking at this place like, no one's going to help me here if I walk around. Because, as a black person, you're walking around like, no, they'll be more receptive to others. But I was like, what if we could create that in the community? Thousands of people, but also black-owned businesses, also corporates, but also speakers weren't black as well in this conference. What if I could hear from leading black speakers? And that was something that was cool in my mind. So that of course led me to kind of creating the UK Black Business Show, that inspiration. And I wanted it to be as fancy as this. Obviously I couldn't get to that level straight away, but I want it to be like, no, I want to do it in the QE2 as well. I don't want to do it. I want black people to be in a place like this as well. So I phoned up, I tried to, do you know what I mean? I was like, please, like, can I get in this venue? Like, I work for this company who also use it. Obviously, I was a bit scared to say I want to do a black business show because, you know, it says it in the name really. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's what it is, you know? And that's kind of how it all started. Me kind of just seeing that. And again, all I knew was how to sell the stands. I didn't know how to put the event on, how to execute it, that's all I knew. But also I missed out. I was running music and comedy events as well before, called Music and Banter, which I had like Mo the Comedian there, and upcoming musicians and loads of different people. But I had no idea how to do an exhibition conference. And then my journey got really, really interesting because actually I was like, while I'm building this, I want to work for an exhibition conference and understand it exactly how to do it. So my next jobs I was looking for exhibition sales. So I could get in the job and start speaking to the marketing people, the operations people, to really, really understand. So I was just like, it was real like tactical everything. From when I started it, I was like, cool, I'm going to find out how the best exhibition companies work. And then I'm going to speak to everyone who's working there and understand how to deliver an exhibition on the quality of the ones that we see at the Excel, at Olympia, etc., and all of those. So, I could only say till it's starting to look like the big dream that I had at the beginning. Probably this year is another step in. Last year looked amazing. This year we're at the Excel Center. Which is really, really exciting. But now it's like, it's shaping up to like the vision that I had of like complete like black excellence, amazing, but in a prestigious venue, but quality of everything, speakers, etc. I was looking at the speaker panel, the speaker lineup this year, and I was just like, I was amazed at the quality just everywhere. On every, like, each day. On the Saturday now, we've got 3 different stages. So we've got like a BBC creative stage. Now we've split up the seminar. We've got a JP Morgan entrepreneur stage. We've got a careers stage sponsored by City. We've got main stage. And on each stage, we've got like crazy people who could easily be on the main stage, which is incredible. So yeah, it's coming to life. And I know I've jumped into
but just to give people context as well. So one sick thing you said, which is obviously a major highlight, is that you were at a point where you knew what you wanted and you wanted to get it to that quality. And you went and actually got a job. Did you get the job at the at the exhibition sales place? So you went and did that. And it's interesting because what me and Eman talk about a lot is that sometimes we're so quick to dive into being an entrepreneur, and a lot of people would leave where you are even though they've only got experience selling stands and not learned the business from the ground up, basically. You were very strategic and tactical and said, I'm going to learn the business from the ground up by being employed by an exhibition company. And there's a lot of people that will turn their nose up at that. So I think it's very, very important for people to hear that lesson. The second thing is that I want you to tell the people, you're saying that now it feels like you're where your vision was back then. How long ago was that?
Well, 2017. 2017 started the UK Black Business Show. So it's so funny. I say it's a long time ago, but then equally when I speak to some people, they're like, it's not that long for where you're at now.
Absolutely.
But for me, it's been a journey from working part-time, working full-time, as in working my full-time job, then coming home at maybe 7 p.m. This is when everybody's in the office, and then working on my hustle from 9 p.m. till 2 a.m., then waking up at 2 a.m., then waking up for 6 a.m. to get to work again in the office every single day. I remember packing the bags myself manually for the goodie bags for each show. I remember how much work I'd done myself being the salesman, the marketing man. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
So even though like I think it's a long time, other people think it's a short time, but for what the different stages,
You was
like,
in it.
and even my missus can see the different stages. It feels like such a long time as well. But yeah, 2017. So we're going into our 8th year next year. So yeah, 2026 will be like our 10th year, because I started the show from 6 months from when I thought of the idea. 6 months to the day. I thought of the idea. I phoned my brother. I was like, I got this idea. Well, I emailed my missus first. She was like, yeah, it's a brilliant idea. Then also phoned my brother. And he was like, you got to do it now because so many people are thinking of ideas. He was just like, do you know how many people there are? He fully put fear into me. It's like, do you know how many people there are in the world? You know, someone else is thinking of a Black business show like right now. And you don't know them. It's like, yeah. It's like, you got to do it now. Yeah. You got to do it this Black History Month, not the next one, or someone might have done it. So he really made me feel like, he gave me that urge of like, that urgency to be like, if you have something, an idea, don't wait on it. Just be like, just try and execute. Just get started. I know everybody hears it all the time, just get started. But sometimes it is just get started and start building and building and building, you know?
And how important is family to you? Because like, obviously, I met your dad is so lovely. Met your mum, obviously. But your dad seems like a real inspiration. Just the conversations I have with him, like, he seems like a really inspirational individual, really empowering, really encouraging individual. How important has family been to you having the confidence? Because remember, I guess there's almost a cockiness or a arrogance to say, I'm gonna do this, that you need as an entrepreneur to go up and, because why you? Why not, like, do you know what I mean? For you to get up and do it, was that something instilled in your household? Was that something in your family that you've grown up and had the confidence to go out and say, I'm going to go and do this and let's get it done?
Yeah. No, great. I think, first of all, as you mentioned, I think family is very important to me, and they've been integral for the growth, for me just carrying on, for their support, the prayers. My mum and dad, they literally follow me everywhere. They go to Birmingham Black Business Show. They go to UK Black Business. I had to tell them to be easier to not come to US for the New York, because I was just like, you need to come on, chill now. But they literally like travel to all the events. So extremely supportive. They're always praying as well. And then of course my missus has been there. She's like understood like the late nights, the stress that I've gone through. Just my brothers, my sister, just all of my families, like my sister-in-laws, brother-in-laws, like everyone has been so integral, as well as like my friends as well, because they don't talk about it as well. When I started off the business, I didn't have much money, but I had a lot of friends who were just helping me do the show because they were supporting my vision. They didn't want money from it. They were just like, Raph, we know when you make money, you'll give us something. But like, they were happy to work to help me out, even though they know they weren't going to get paid off it, because I wasn't making money at the beginning. So all of those things, like.
But your friendship group is crazy.
I appreciate that,
because his friendship group is, I don't know. There's one of your friends wanted to be an actor. They all put money in, so they all chip money in, so he could go to acting school. Bruv, did I not look on the television and he's acting?
That's amazing, bro.
It's actually acting. This is. Imagine your friends are saying, "No, you want to be an actor? Okay, we're gonna pay for you to go to acting classes," and they pay for him to go to acting lessons. And about 2-3 years later, he's actually on the TV. He's actually doing roles in movies amazing. And everything.
Bro, those are the stories that we need to tell, that we publicize, because when those stories come out, like, the people will see it and say that this is how we should be moving, because that's exactly how things should be. You glossed over something here, which is a huge deal. Your wife in you building your business, because I want you, not that you glossed over it, but I think the people more so need to understand how that is. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Because you're an entrepreneur. Yeah. You're doing nights. It's like, how has she helped support you and be with you and endure the fact that, do you know what? This is going to bust. This is going to bust. This is going to bust. We're building. And even when you're building this successful, it's always like, that's the next thing. And obviously she's part of the business as well, but there's a lot in it, right?
Yeah, I think, OPM is fantastic. She's like a very supportive, amazing wife to have. I think she, from early on, she kind of showed me like levels on, like, just even like making money. Because again, she came out of uni, got an internship at a huge bank.
Yeah.
And her salary was like, woo. And I was like, how am I catching that? And I always joke, I was just like, the only way I catch this salary, the way she's get into big companies is if I be an entrepreneur or a business owner.
Yeah.
Because she's elite. She got first in uni with prize. Like, she's elite at what she does.
Yeah.
So I was just like, yo, she's gonna keep on. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know I'm more creative, but she's super smart, very intelligent. So she kind of showed me, like, when I started getting jobs and I was like happy with this salary, she's like, no, you should be on more. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I'm on this. So she always kept, when other people were like, oh, you're on a decent. I was like, bruh, if you knew what my wife.
Like, I'm just saying this
I was
thing
like,
is.
I hear it, but you know, I've seen something else. So she's always like helped me like aim high.
Aim higher. Amazing.
And even with like the business as well. When I was like writing decks, etc., she'd be like, "Oh, you should put that on," because she's got experience as well in speaking. She's very corporate as well,
Yeah, corporate,
as well as
corporate,
very like, she's got a corporate side, she's got a bubbly side, but she knows like what they would like to see, and she's like, "No, you shouldn't put that in there. You should put this in there." So she's been great, and also as well when you add the element of like kids as well. Got 3 kids. She's like very supportive when I have to talk abroad in the US or to travel to here, and when I'm doing my shows, and when I'm away for like a week or 2, like building the shows and doing all of that. Like, she's been like a huge part for me, and a huge part of success of all of the businesses, which just incredible. She's great.
It's amazing, man.
Yeah, she's told me how to kind of communicate with like big sponsors. I remember she showed me an example of like an event. She's like, one day, like, it would be great if you had all of these sponsors like in there. And I looked at it, I was like, yeah, one day. And then now it's probably have more sponsors than that event that my wife showed me. So yeah, she's incredible. And connections as well. I think OPME was our partnership with JP Morgan when she was at JP, actually. And then I believe she put me in touch with someone at JP Morgan. So even that is a facilitation. Of course you can do that, but then you've also got to make sure I've got to make sure I don't embarrass her, isn't it?
Of course.
If she's vouching for me like that,
Yeah.
I've got to make sure. So even that connection with JP was even through my wife when she was at JP. So she's been fantastic.
That's amazing, man.
I think like when we went to the first Black Business Show, for me, like I was like, rah. Number one, I've come past this building bare times, never gone in it. And then when we've gone in it, the levels, like, this is not, like, normally, no disrespect to most like entrepreneur business shows or whatever, or things that done black. But this was like when I went corporate stuff. This is like when I went my events at the bank, like as a financial advisor, you get invited to different events and you have to, that was the level. I was like, rah, like the level is high. But then when I went to the one in the design center and I saw Ralph Lauren, Tesco, like, are you okay? Here for us.
Yeah, literally.
Like McDonald's is here for us. I said to myself, what's the evolution? How do you go? What do you do year on year? What do you show them to get them coming back? Because obviously I knew it's got bigger and bigger every single year. What is it that brands, corporates are looking for? How do you get them to engage? Obviously we know, because we have to know that when we had George Floyd, they were on us, but that's gone a long time.
Yeah,
they're still buying. There's still more. They're fighting each other. Who's going to be the main sponsor? Who's going to do this? Where my stand's going to be? The stands are getting bigger and bigger. We need bigger, more space. How are you continuing to sell this to corporates when we're not as important as we were 4 years ago?
Yeah,
that's a great question. I think first of all, it's, again, the business started in 2017, so we had laid the foundations before kind of the dreadful things that happened in 2020 with George Floyd. So again, we also had that reputation of someone who we was doing this for the community. We truly believed in it. But also it's all about, what value you can add to them. there was a time I believe they were splashing money at kind of every event, etc., every conference or every initiative.
Yeah.
But there's always a time where it comes where they internally look and they're like, where are we getting the ROI? And where do we have to cut the money from? So I think whatever you do, whatever product or service you have, always make sure you're giving someone the ROI, because they may come for that branding at the moment, etc. As soon as they don't need that, then cool, that money's gone. But if you've got that ROI that you're giving them, then fantastic. So whether it's a corporate sponsor who's looking to attract black talent, recruit, build up their pipeline internally, it's fantastic, because there is no bigger space that you're going to meet so many black professionals over the course of a week. With the UK Black Business Week this year, 15,000 attendees, so it's perfect for it.
Yeah.
If you're a company that wants to support black business owners, it's also perfect, and support black entrepreneurs. You're going to meet so many there. So that's why we get so many different partners coming from different angles. Like McDonald's, who you mentioned, they want more black people to open franchises. I think they was telling me that 9 out of 10 McDonald's we see are actually franchises, and we don't know that. But barely any have black ownership. And McDonald's are so lucrative. They're like $1 million plus 2 million. There's someone who, speaking at the show, like a black McDonald's franchise, I think in the first 6 months she done like $1 million. And you've got a proven brand. You don't need to do any branding.
Yeah.
You just need to get the money. Like, these are the businesses that we're missing out on.
Yeah.
I think in the US, they're really, really getting onto it. There's a few people open up like Wingstops, big celebrities, and like different, buying their own this and that. But we haven't tapped into that yet in the UK.
Yeah.
And actually, McDonald's are there. We've got a whole event on franchising during the week as well. I think it's on the Thursday, building a franchise business. So it will teach you how to get a franchise, but also teach you how to franchise your own business.
Amazing.
Which is really important. So yeah, there's loads of those different elements, and also it's just like the execution.
Yeah.
Now we're close to the show, like it's execution mode for me. Like everything needs to look like amazing. People need to enjoy it. The sessions need to be great. And that's why it's about the team is so important. Like at the beginning it was me, but then there's a certain level when you're scaling up that you can't do it by yourself if you want to get to a certain milestones, revenue, etc. If you want to do bigger things. So it's also realizing that and be like, yo, I need a team. I need a full-time team. I need this, I need that, So
Your team's really good though.
Thank you.
Yeah, really, really good.
Big up Mags. That's my G.
Yeah, big up Max, big up Milena. Big up Abby.
But I would say, and I don't know, how do you deal with not trying to be, maybe you didn't mean to be, but being a gatekeeper? Because you now have a platform that people are desperate to be on, but everyone can't be on there. You can't talk about everything. So for example, I remember when you first started, we're doing finance, then the property guys are like, oh, we don't do property. And then you're thinking, okay, where do I fit this in? How, do you know what I mean? How do you deal with the fact that you have something that the community are desperate to be in, but you can't please everyone? So then all of a sudden you now are a gatekeeper to people's opportunities or not, when you're just trying to help.
Yeah, no, that's a great question, and really, really, really important question actually, because of maybe the last 2 weeks or so, and I think some people may, again, we're going to have over 300 speakers at the show this year. But some people might be like, you've never hollered at me. This is intentional. Why haven't you? But also as well, we're just one organization. And also, even though I do the UK Black Business Show, UK Black Business Week, I don't know every black entrepreneur and business owner in the UK. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? But that doesn't mean you're not doing amazing things. Sometimes I just need someone to introduce me to them and to put them on. Do you know what I mean?
It makes perfect sense.
So it's nothing personal. It's just that everybody doesn't know everyone. And I think it's definitely important to know. Like sometimes we've all probably got opportunities by reaching out to people and letting them know about
Yeah.
us.
Yeah.
Rather than just sitting there and just be like, nah, they haven't reached out.
They haven't
Nah.
reached out.
How can they not reach out to
How
me?
could they overlook?
I'm doing my thing.
I'm the number one in. Do you know what I mean? I'm the number one in
I think
insurance.
he's got a problem with me.
Yeah, 100%. But they've never spoken
Yeah,
to
yeah,
me,
yeah.
or So there's that. Like, actually reach out, get in contact. Do have more opportunities speaking. Like, amplify yourself a bit more, but also don't be offended.
Yeah.
Like, don't be offended. And in terms of like the events, again, like we've added so much throughout the week now.
Yeah.
Like, we've got the Black Property Talks as well. That was a huge thing. A lot of people like, you know what, property is such a big deal, like in the Black community now. So we had, again, Knight Franca doing that. We've got a Black Fashion Talks.
Wow.
Amazing.
During the week, we've got like Coach, Kate Spades, Ralph Lauren sponsoring it. We've got Black and Legal as well.
Come on.
Because like we've got some law firms sponsoring it. Black Finance, of course, we've got a lot of the finance like City, Lloyds, HSBC, all involved. So yeah, it's about understanding the audience as well. What are they looking for? Got the media, culture and sports event. So understanding, okay, yeah, we want to hear this. And we do feedback as well from our attendees. Like, what was lacking? What was missing? Like, we're always trying to understand how we can improve the event for everyone. But yeah, we can't serve everyone. We can't serve everyone. Again, we always do our show on the Saturday. And then I think there's some people that have like always commitments on the Saturday, and they're like, why can't you just do the show on a Friday? I always miss it. Right? So I get those. And I'm like, we can't please everyone. We do other events, but we don't do
But
the
we
main
told you a year in advance. You take holiday, right? You can take a day off. Like, if you want to be somewhere, you'll be there.
Yeah,
because when people do concert, it doesn't matter. You will be there. If it's in the week, on the weekend, you'll be there.
Yeah.
But people always make these excuses and so forth. But
It's one of those things where sometimes people just can't see out of their lens. But one thing I want to get into is the numbers, right? We spoke about some numbers. So they said 300 speakers. How many attendees? So people could really see what we're talking about, bro.
Yeah, sure. So 15,000 across the week. And on the one day, on the Saturday, we're looking at 7.5. But that 7.5 we said 7.5 before we hired out an extra hall. We sold out of space. So we've got 3 big halls now in the XL. So yeah, 15,500 across the week, 7.5 on that big kind of flagship day, last day on the 19th of October. So yeah, big numbers.
What does it cost to put an event on like that?
Oof. What does it cost? Probably around $500,000 to put on.
Man, understand the gravity.
It's
I have to understand. This is what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Probably around $500,000 to put on.
And how much are people paying ticket?
It's not a lot. It's,
No, that's what I want to.
it's
tickets
really good.
are. There's basic tickets are like £40. £40 for the tickets, and like you got like weekly tickets, like £250, £150. So not a huge amount. Not a huge amount for.
Because we were talking before air about this similar event like this in America.
It's $1,000 starting.
Without fail. With
It's $1,000
Invest
starting.
Fest with Earn Your Leisure and
Yeah.
you know what those tickets are going for.
Yeah.
And people don't blink.
Yeah.
But over here, anything over £20, these are in a fit. They're like, I could get a Nando's.
Yeah.
And it's probably a good time to say, guys, that anybody that's listening to this and has never been to the UK Black Business Show, by the time this episode comes out, you can definitely get your ticket. We'll throw some links in the Spotify link, YouTube link, all of the links, so you can definitely sample it, because great event. If you've listened to more than 2 episodes of the Bread and Butter podcast, you need to be at UK Black Business Show.
100%.
It doesn't make sense otherwise, is it? Like, it just, there's so much alignment.
And what I would say for business owners, if you're a business owner, like get a stand. Like, get a stand and be there. Because for me personally, I got a stand. Luckily, my brethren's doing the event. So he's giving me a discount. Honestly, I've called him, but it must have been about 8 days before the event. Because I've just spoke to Mims, said she's doing this. She's like, call Safa. I'm like, okay, I'm going to call him. 8 days before that, bro, he said, I've got one table, bro. I've got one table. I said, bro,
take
please, I take it.
Sometimes I hate being that guy.
You know that?
Raph knows as well. We've had exactly the same convo. Like 3 days through the event, he's like, bro, let me see what I can do. Just CC me in with the team.
I've got one. He said, I've got one table. I said, the price is normally this, but because it's you, I'm just gonna give it to you for this. I didn't even argue. I've said, where do I transfer? Send the money, got the thing, got the table. We've done it, bruv. That day, when I went to that event, I didn't even have 100 followers on Instagram. When I went to that first Black Business Show, before the end of the day, I had about 250 followers. Then what happened was that people then started putting me in their stories. By the end of the week, I had like almost 1,000 followers just from getting that table. I met, Raph introduced me to an MP, took a picture of the MP that was there. Beside me was the watches. My man that does the watches.
Yeah, William.
William.
Yeah.
It's Highlander.
Who I still talk to today, like on socials. We still keep catch up. He was on that side. I met a financial advisor who now I still talk to. Do you know what I mean? And the connections I met Michael. I met so much people I've met on that day that I then went and did an event. They then brought people to the event. From there, I had a list. We had an email list. So we had giving out goodie bags. People signed up with mailing lists. We got about 200 names. This is the very first one. Went back the next year, did the same thing. Bruv, when I tell you that literally the Black Business Show not only helped me connect with other black vendors, because right now, people know my network and say, right, E-man, how are you so connected? I'm connected because I'm in a room. I left my stand. I went and met every single vendor. I'll tell my wife, you stay here. Anyone comes, just tell them I'm coming back. And I went round and I met every single vendor. I mean, man, I'm a financial advisor, so what I do. What do you do? Boom, boom, boom. Now, all of a sudden, man knows hundreds of black businesses. And then I've gone to, when I tell you, Birmingham as well. Listen, you have to understand, London and Birmingham are completely different.
They're completely different.
Completely different.
They're completely different.
See, when I've gone, London is bigger than Birmingham. When I've gone Birmingham, I took my book to Birmingham. Sold out 100 books.
They mean business over there.
When I tell you Birmingham, the love is different. Like the way that community support and so forth. So I also say, if you've got a business and you're selling a product that's beyond it's not just London based, definitely get out to the Birmingham. Get out there and reach a whole new audience. Because now, for me, and the reason it worked for me is that after my second biggest audience on Instagram is Birmingham, outside London. So, but now I'm so strong in, I get bookings to go to Birmingham now. Off the fact that I've gone to Black Business Show, met black businesses there, concrete my name in Birmingham, to the point now I get booked to go and give talks in Birmingham. Like, you know how many financial advisors there are in Birmingham? But they're calling me from London to come to Birmingham. Yeah. That's the power of being present in this space. And so it's so important that if you're a business owner and you want to take it to, don't look at, it's costing me this. Think about a marketing budget. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, you can pay ads on socials, you can pay ads on TV, or you can pay ads in a newspaper, but there's nothing like meeting your customer. Yeah. You see, when you meet your customer, I meet people now, they'll be like, I'm bad at remembering people's names and faces. They'll be like, E-man, they will bring out the picture. We met at the Black Business Show. Yeah. They will show me the picture of us together. That's how powerful it is. And they will stay loyal to your product and your service. So black businesses, like if you want to learn and grow, definitely go. But if you're a business, be there. And even if you can't get a stand, you can't afford a stand right now, go there and learn. Speak to people who have stands. I had some people are walking around selling stuff out there, giving their business card to people off a normal ticket. You know what I mean? Just being wise. Like, understand the gravity of, there's not many places, not many rooms that you can be in to meet this many people that are like-minded to you. So take the opportunity to be there.
100%.
100%. Couldn't have said it better.
Yeah.
Couldn't have said it better. And I think that one of the other sick things as well, you mentioned something about ads, right? Ads are great in it, but you don't really know where they're going.
Exactly.
Like Raph said, this is 15,000 people over a week, 7,500 people that could be aligned with your business. They're getting exposure to your business. Like there's not many ads that could do that at the prices that we're talking. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, 100%. And E-Man touched on something really important about like just exhibitors. Yeah. Which I didn't even know I would speak about, just advice for exhibitors and sponsors. Often, like, they just stay at their stand, but and just maybe even sit down on their chair and just wait for someone to come to them. And I walk past, I'm like, no one's going to come to you when you're like this. You have to be engaging.
Yeah.
You have to be like, first of all, bubbly at your stand. Don't be just sitting down on your chair. Like, stand up. People will talk to them. But also, like Emans, go around and speak to so many different people. Because also, you could do business with someone else who's got a stand.
Yeah.
You could do business with someone who's walking this way or that way, or bumped into you, etc. Like, when I tell you, I've got sponsors from speaking to someone at the show, and next year they've come back, and that was just because I was walking somewhere. Oh yeah, can I give you my car? I want to be here next year, you know. So it's important to just try and speak to everyone with like networking, like that reserved thing, sitting down. No one's ever been successful with doing that. I know it's like some people have the confidence issue, which I completely understand. But you just got to find another way to kind of speak to people. Sometimes you might get lucky and someone might come over to you, are you right there? You know, and you have you had that one great conversation, and you go home and you're like, yes, I had that. But you can have a lot more of those good conversations if you're really intentional and you're going around and speaking to.
And you can break it. Like, so for me, one thing I learned from Andre Spence, you know, Andre's the guy with the hat, and you see a slim, tall black guy hat, that's Andre Spence. But one thing he taught me was, bruv, to break the ice, have things people want. So we just went and bought bottles of water. You know, £2 for 12. We just bought bare of those. And so we just have the water on the table. And so people are like, oh, can I get a bottle of water? Yeah, sure. And then they'll be like, what do you do? Because now people feel bad.
Yeah, they feel bad. Yeah.
You're giving them free water. Like, do you know what I mean? And it's like, we have Haribos and we have different things that will just break the ice. Do you know what I mean? Oh, can I get a sweet? Can I get this? And then all of a sudden you can have a conversation. So if you're someone that's not that vocal and not that out there, then just have things on your table that will entice people to break the ice and make them feel like, oh, you've given me something. Now when you ask them, oh, can I get your email address? Bro, I've just given you water.
Bro, just drank my water, just had my celebrations.
Get it?
Bro,
Come
you
on.
have to give the email.
At least you can give me your email address. Even if it's the one that you don't even, give me something. Do you know what I mean?
Sometimes I used to put the stand with the celebrations on it a bit deeper in the stand as well. So they have to come in. You know, it's not the walking past thing.
Facts. But I think it's really important to understand that this is where you can learn it. Like, imagine, like, I always tell people, one of the reasons why I love giving talks at church, because when I first started, even if I was rubbish, they're always going to clap for you at the end. Like, this is that same environment. Do you understand? You can not be perfect, and people will show you love.
Yeah.
People, listen, I've had people tell me, I remember my first banners. Obviously, I've told Raph 8 days before, I've gone on Vistaprint. Do you understand? To do my banners. People come, yeah, man, this banner, come on, bro, at your level. Let me do this for you. Boom. Someone will make a banner for you. Do you know what I mean? But you're not going to have that opportunity if you're not out there. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, go out there and test it. The great thing about our people, they're not shy to tell you what you're doing right and what you're doing wrong.
Yeah.
So bare times are, man, like the price this, or if you offer this service, or if you could do this would really help. And then you can test it. You can ask, if I offer this, would you want this? Would you want this? Oh, I'd love a group. Like, you can talk to your target market right there, and it's in an environment where they want to give back, they want to help, they want to make you be better.
Yeah.
And so you're not going to find that out at home, hoping that, why is no one buying my product? Oh, I've only got 10 likes on Instagram. Forget all that. Go out and meet people in real life.
Yeah, no, just I love that, and it's something that I always say, like, you can't get support without being visible. Like, you can't just be sitting in your room and be like, no one supports me, if they don't know about you.
Exactly.
Facts.
So even when I created the show, made sure the website looked great, looked amazing, people reached out to me who I didn't know, who wanted to support it, because it was like, this looks different. The same with yourself. Like, you're there, you're visible, and now people are supporting you, giving you advice, giving you feedback. So you need to get started before you can get that support. You know, sometimes people are like, I need support to get started, when actually it's the other way around. Get started, and trust me, you'll find the support once they see what you're doing.
And don't feel like you need to be perfect. Like, that's one of the biggest things that holds us back. Oh, I'm not quite ready, I'm not quite at that level yet.
Yeah.
Bruv, you're there. The lessons that you're going to learn are going to make you better going forward. Like, and so it's so important that you go out there. And also, I'm not going to lie, you're going to go there, you're going to see something like, bruh, I'm better than them. Like, bruh, like, you know, like when you're on your own, you have nothing to compare to.
Yeah.
So you're always think, you're gonna come out and think, no, if these lot can do it, I can do it. Like, and then it's that inspiring. I remember when I first got there, I was just happy to get a stand. And I remember Bianca and Byron, they were giving a talk. And I was like, wow, one day I'm gonna give a talk. Bruv, within 2 years, man's on the main stage giving a talk.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And Bianca and Byron are my best friends. Like, life can change. Do you know what I mean? Like, life can change that quickly just by you, like, actually just being out there, like, and being inspired. Like Raf said, he went to an event and he said, rah, imagine this for black people. If he never went to the event, he could never imagine. Do you understand? And it's like, sometimes you are waiting for that inspiration, but you're not putting yourself in environments to be inspired. And the black business, I don't care what anyone says, there's nowhere more inspiring than the Black Business Show. Even if, bruv, when I'm walking around, sometimes I forget that I got a stand. Or I forget that I even forget I'm the E-Man of it. I'm walking around, I be like, bro, E-Man, I love you. I'm like, yeah, cool. Meet me at the stand. I'm enjoying the show. I'm walking around and I'm so proud. Do you know what it's like to walk around and everywhere you look left and right is black businesses? Why would you not want to be there?
Yeah.
We walk on streets where every shop we walk past, not one of them is owned by us.
Yeah.
And yet now we're at a business show where every single business is either owned by us or the ones that are not owned by us want us. They've come and got this stand here because they want us.
Yeah. Facts.
Why would you? Just that alone should give you a confidence to look at the world in a different way.
Definitely. Couldn't agree more. We want to talk about the next what you've been getting into, because we've been seeing you in the States a lot.
Yeah.
Come on.
So talk to us about your ventures overseas.
Yeah. So we launched our first. So we also do, like I mentioned, Black Tech Achievement Awards.
Yeah.
Which we've been running in the UK for a while now. Which is one of my. I love the event. I love it. It's so different to like UK Black Business Show. Like Birmingham Black Business Show. Yeah. Man, you've come to it. So it's like a gala dinner, and it's focused on tech, solely on tech, and it's just championing black entrepreneurs and professionals within the tech industry who are often kind of overlooked. And what I love about it is like you have the biggest companies in the world who've got tables there, from the Salesforces to the Googles to the Amazons, etc. And it's such a really inspiring and powerful evening. And we've been running that since 2019. And then I took a break and then we brought it back. And that's been going really, really well. And we was just like, you know what, we should bring this to the US as well. So we launched our first one in the US this year, in Times Square in New York at the Marriott, which was incredible. I think for our first one, we had around 200 attendees, which is great for a first like dinner and awards. And that was just another great experience. One thing I would say is that, wow, when we was reading the applications, it's crazy. Like UK, there's great talent as well. Like it's incredible talent. But we had people who were like, I won this in like big, like global awards.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? The humanitarian I won. Like there's so many, or they're doing crazy numbers. And I'm just like, wow, this is incredible. So for me, it was just really inspiring reading the applications, first of all. Before I've even got there, we were like, yo, my team were reading it. And they came back to me. They were just like, no, we feel a bit that way. Like we're looking at our lives, like reading the application and like, I need to do more. Like they're reading, they was joking to me. They was like, listen, these applications are crazy. So really inspiring evening in the US. But also at the same time, you know, US is definitely such a big place. And, you know, there's so many more black entrepreneurs and professionals. Yeah. With everything that we do, we're just like, how can we help black entrepreneurs and professionals in places that they need us? So with Birmingham, it came about because Birmingham was the second biggest city or people was attending our lot. Attending up. So it was like, let's go to Birmingham. So we're really intentional about going to places in which we feel like people need us. In the US, again, there's a lot of really great events as well. But also what was really interesting to me, we met someone at the BTA Awards who travels down to the UK for the UK Black Business Week, which we didn't know. She was like, yeah, because there's nothing like that in the US. There's loads of amazing events, but she was like, there's nothing like that what you do. Like, it's very different that you do that, you do this. Like, we don't find that in the in the US. So again, that's great to hear. So, you know, US is definitely something in, like, potentially maybe the next few years we look at actually doing something bigger like the UK Black Business Show in there. And then I've got a great relationship with a few people in the US now. So I met Matthew Knowles, Beyonce's dad, a few years ago when we interviewed him for my first book, Twice as Hard, and we've kept quite a good relationship. So when he comes down to, like, London, we meet and, like, have breakfast in, like, a secret hotel because you don't want no one to know he's around. But he gives me so much advice as well on, like, books, business, and then randomly he just randomly does intros to me. And so crazy, like, Beyonce's dad is just doing intros randomly to you. So I just get random intros to different people in, like, the US, in the UK. So he introduced me to someone who's like, you two are two black people, one's in the UK, one's in the US. You're both doing amazing things for black entrepreneurs. I think you should speak. I don't know why I'm doing that accent. It's like, I think you should speak with each other. It's like, all right, cool, yeah. So linked up with a guy called Lamar Tyler, shout out Lamar. And he's running this amazing event in Atlanta for black entrepreneurs. And when I tell you, so we decided, you know what? You speak at my event, I speak at yours. Like, we just thought, let's do that. When I tell you, when I went to this event, even from the outside before you come in, it's like, even the cars just shows that you're in black excellence. It's crazy. It is incredible. Like, 6-figure, 7-figure, 8-figure business owners, they've got a big wall when you come in. It's like a hall of fame with all the members who are 6-figure, 7-figure, 8. When I tell you, the wall is massive. 6-figure, 7-figure, 8-figure. It's massive. I've never seen anything like that. These are all members. Yeah. People who, and they fully champion them. So now, like, I go to Atlanta, like, to speak at that event, because incredible. First year I spoke, Issa Rae was speaking. Then they've had, like, Damon John, like, so many great people. And then this year was even, like, amazing. He gave me the opportunity to bring 3 UK people over to Atlanta to speak on a panel, which is why I'm loving this. And we've brought 3 US people who are speaking at the UK Black Business Show. So now we're actually connecting, like, both countries and just understanding, you know, what they're doing, what we're doing. So when we went to the US in Atlanta, we were talking about how you can bring your business to the UK, etc. So yeah, again, loved being in Atlanta. Went to LA this year for another conference, which is run by Arlan Hamilton, which was incredible as well. Through, like, there's, like, Gary Vee there and loads of incredible people. And it's just crazy there, because I think one of the days I was about to go to my room, and then Arlan was like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "I'm just going to my room." She's like, "Okay, I got a box at the Lakers. Do you want to come?" I was like, "All right, cool." I've gone now, suddenly in a box with all these amazing people. And it happens to be, like, one of the biggest basketball showdowns. I forgot who it was against. But when I turned on the ground the next day, like, all of the stars were there, like the Kim. Do you know what I mean? It was a huge. And it's just, you wouldn't get those opportunities if you're not there.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's just about, again, being in the room. If I didn't go to, and I met some people in the box as well, because those are the best things about when you're, like, at boxes sometimes, like, you're meeting really. So it's just like, I decided, I'll come to the conference in LA just to watch, etc. And now, because of that, I've spoken to this person, that person. She's like, "Oh, come here, come this place." Introduce me to that person. So yeah, I think US is really, really dope. Like, there's some great places there. Yeah. And yeah, really excited about BTA next year. Again, we're doing that in New York in the Marriott. And yeah, future plans. Just we'll see what happens. But yeah, we're definitely it's definitely a place we want to be.
Yeah.
I think there's a through line with everything that you're saying, even back down to when you were working in exhibition sales and you said you had a manager who kind of turned you up a notch, basically. And I think that you've got a way of speaking with people so that they buy into you, right? Because we're even seeing that with Beyonce's dad, and Beyonce's dad's enjoyed that relationship so much. Is like, yo, he's trusting. Do you get what I'm trying to say? You're saying that he's saying, Raf, you do this. I've got a guy that I know and trust that does this. You two connect. He leaves himself out of it, innit? So for our audience that may be shy or think that they don't want to be out there, don't want to be visible and meet people, what advice could you give them when it comes to meeting new people and building relationships?
Yeah, I'm going to give the advice in terms what I would say, meeting people. What was it? Meeting people and
Building new
relationships. There's a quote that I interviewed someone in my book, and they said that he went into a place and they told him to be more you. Kind of saying that, not like we feel like you're not being yourself, just be authentic, because you is what we like. So don't try and change for anyone.
Yeah.
And I love that. I love the quote. Like I might even get it on the top. It's like, be more you. Just be authentic. Be genuine. Because being you can open doors. Like there's only one you, and no one can replicate your traits, your personality, your skills. So first of all, I would say like go into places and be you. Don't try and be anyone else.
Yeah.
Because normally over time people suss it out.
Yeah.
If you're an actor, if you're you just come into somewhere and you just do mad energy for no reason, and when that's not really you.
The energy is going to be low.
You know what I mean? Sometimes there's people with mad energy. Do you know what I mean? Like they've always had that. Like Iman's always had mad energy. Like I'm not someone who get on stage and have super mad energy sometimes. But again, in the US, I had to give a bit more energy because they like that.
They love that. Yeah.
So also, it's be a more you, but sometimes you might have to tailor it towards a specific audience.
Absolutely.
But be more you, be genuine, be authentic. My new book, Together We Thrive, is all about community and serving others before you serve yourself. And I talk about actually how, you can't replicate your community championing you with self-promotion. People's endorsement is always going to be louder than your self-promotion. That's what's going to open doors for you. Like, oh, I worked with him. I worked with that. Do you know what I mean? And he was brilliant on that podcast. He's killed that session at this bank, etc. We should get him here. So I think it's just, understanding how can you like serve others. And it's just the same that we said with Matthew Knowles. He's like introduced me to these people. And now I'm like, if I ever see an opportunity, he's going to come to mind that I'm going to be like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when you do that first for people, like you come to mind, do you know what I mean? Of like one of the first people for them to like to boss, etc.
Yeah.
So I think that would be my biggest thing in terms of like building a relationship with people. Like see how you can help them, see how you can support them. And don't be afraid. I think also a lot of people are afraid of, there's one thing to support someone who's not in your industry, but what about supporting people who are in your industry? That takes another level of grace to be like, I'm a financial advisor. I'm also going to support another financial advisor and put him on my platform. Because some people are like, what if now he takes my customer? Do you know?
That's what I like.
Do you know what I mean? But even with you work with so many other property influencers. You work with so many other financial influencers as well. But they've probably, I know they give opportunities as well that they can't do to you. Like I've seen, so. People often mistake that as like, but nah, it improves, it helps you build.
Absolutely.
I think we're coming to the end, but one thing I always wanted to ask you is, how do you not let ego build? Because you're doing big things. And again, like I said, the level you're at, people will love the doors that you can open. People will love the stages that you're creating and to be on them. When you're on a Black Business Show, everyone knows you're Mr. Black Business Show. You got 15,000 people in a week that have left their house to come to a place because of you. How do you stay so down to earth and so humble and not allow, even at the event, like if you see Raph at the Black Business Show, you think he's so bruv. I'm like, if this was your typical Nigerian, you'll be in one gold suit. Like everybody would, you have people around you. The old guy's arrived. Like, Raph is calm. He's even hiding. I'm like, Raph, I don't want people, I just want to look at, see how things are going. I'm like, rah.
Do you know, it's so interesting because I agree with what you're saying as well. And it doesn't even feel like you're hiding. I think you've got just a very natural, humble spirit. Does that make sense? It's kind of like you're there, you're present, but it's almost like you're doing this, but you're not doing this. You know what I'm trying to say? It's almost like you say, hey, listen, just let me cut you, but you're not actually doing that. So yeah, like Iman says that, how do you go about not having a massive ego? Because you've got all of these people in the building, them themselves are quote unquote egos in themselves. You've got personalities in the building. You've got celebrities in the building that have come for your event. So how do you not let that like spiral out?
Look at the brands that you got there. Look at the corporates that are wanting to present. Like, how are you staying humble with this? Because people are not doing 10% of what you're doing, bro, and they're walking around on a different flex. How are you doing this?
You know what? I always think like ego is a horrible thing to have. Like, it's for me, like even when I speak with people, it's a big turn off. And if you even look at like some of my friends that I've met through business, they're also very similar to myself. Like they're doing amazing things, but they haven't got huge egos as well. So for me, it's just always remembering like why I created the show. It was for others. It was for myself as well. I wanted to be in a space where I could connect with other Black entrepreneurs and professionals, but it's also understanding that the show is bigger than me, myself, and that the show will be, by God's grace, around longer than I am. Do you know what I mean? Like decades and decades and decades. So for me, that's where it all lies. And I can never start to think that I'm bigger than this person or I'm bigger than that. It's the community that makes up the show. You know, it's the people that attend. You know, the UK Black Business Show it's the people, it's the community, it's the partners, it's the speakers. Like we all make up the UK Black Business Show. It's not just one person. So yeah, for me, that's like a strong part in me being like humble as well. Also have a great wife as well. So yeah, I think that's for me. That's the main thing.
And what is it like? You got Stephen Bartlett, like at this, you've got him when he's at his hottest. Like it's not like you got him early on. Like you've got him. This is Stephen Bartlett, like one of the number one podcasts, probably one of the best British, especially business podcasts in the UK. Like one of the biggest in the world. He gets, you know, we look at the guests that he gets on YouTube. Like it's unbelievable the guests that he's able to get, and you got him to come to the Black Business Show and speak. And I've heard him speak. I've never heard him speak like that. You got him to be Stephen. What was that like for you? Because that was a moment. I don't know if you felt it, but for the culture, that was a moment. Like I've never seen him articulate himself in that way as a black man. And like you got him to, whether it's your relationship with him or whatever, he took down all the professionalism, all the Dragons Den, that wasn't there. He was Stephen that grew up as a black man and explained his experiences and the things that he wishes for us as a community, where he wants to take us, what he wants to see us doing more. Like how was that for you?
Yeah, I think first of all, again, we were really excited to have Stephen last year. In terms of like high profile black business people in the UK, number one, do you know what I mean? He's probably number one, like in terms of his profile everywhere. But I think, again, this was a different audience to, you know, maybe some of the audience that he's spoken in front of. And also so many people, they were really excited to see him. Like they had his book, from kids to adults. And what I realized on stage, and I think I said, I forgot the words that I said to him. I was just like, I think I said to him, "You're good." And he looked at me. He was asking, "What do you mean?" And I explained it to him. I was just like all the stuff you see on TV, etc. Like, you know, he's smart, but now when you sit with someone and they're responding and the way they're articulating on the spot as well, and you're seeing how their brain is ticking, you're like, this is a proper entrepreneur, a proper business owner. And again, he was extremely humble as well. Again, there's that great clip that you see of he offered the young girl the internship who stood up. He didn't have to offer an internship. She just said, can I have a few minutes? She's like, I'll give you like a whole internship at there. And she's had that internship as well, which is incredible. He's a man of his word. Another thing, we're leaving now, and he goes, I'm coming back next year. And we're like, okay. I'm coming back next year. He's like, make sure, my agent's there. He's like, make sure you hear that. I'm looking at his agent like,
yo.
But at the same time, you don't know if this is just like
The buzz.
on the spot adrenaline.
The buzz.
Yeah. I think within a few days, the team is emailing me to confirm to get the date locked in for next year, which again I find like incredible. Like for me, that's like a man of his word, because he's so busy. Like everybody thinks they're busy as well. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then he done the vlog. There's a vlog on YouTube about the day what led him up to the UK Black Business Show. If you watch it, it's crazy. He's jumping. He recorded a Diary of a CEO podcast. He had this, he had that. You can see the journey.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And then him rushing into the cab and coming out, and it all added up. Makes sense, because I remember like I met him there. But before he got there, he was like there, and that. But also we kept in contact as well. Like he gave me his number. He's been really supportive. He also endorsed my book Together We Thrive as well. And I sent him the book to be an early reader. So even the support that he's shown to be like, I'm coming back, like I want to speak to this audience again,
amazing.
To the Black community. There's not many events that he's coming back to be like, I want to come back again. So again, it's great to have him the first year, but also really significant to have him like at our biggest show at the Excel. Which is really, really exciting. I'm definitely excited. Like I'm trying to get our first show in 2017. We had like a few people who are speakers there. I'm trying to get them to like come back, because for me it's such a milestone moment to be there. I had I think Sammy actually, who Sammy, who owns lots of properties. Including
this building that we're in right now,
including where we are. He said to me, he was like, do you know how significant it is? Like, the only time I see so many people have ever come to the Excel is for church conferences. He's like, you will not see any, like, you're not going to see this many Black people coming to the Excel unless it's for a church conference.
You did the West thing again. You did something very slightly.
Shout out Sammy. But yeah, it really dawned on me, like Excel is definitely going to be like history making. There will never be a time there's going to be so many Black owned businesses exhibiting at one conference in the Excel. I was at a conference of like event organizers. One of the event organizers came up to me and says, oh, you're on the same day as us in the Excel. Someone cancelled with us, a Black business, because they're like, no, we've got to be at. So they asked for a refund for theirs so they can be at our show. So yeah, huge amount, really, really kind of excited about it. And the lineup is again incredible. Lineup grows throughout the year. So yeah.
Amazing. To wrap up, bro, we always ask one question to wrap up each episode. You ain't got to think of the exact moment, but we always ask, what is the W and the L of your journey? What is the cream and the crust, if you might say?
Ooh, the cream and the crust. So W and L. Yeah. Oof. W's. So can I say W's?
Yeah, go for it, bro.
I think the W's, the wins, is their impact. Rather than the personal kind of accolades, etc., that we get, or maybe financials or this and that. It's like the romantic stories, like Emmanuel launching his show at our first show in 2017, them becoming a speaker at the show, but also has had huge success. It's those things, or it's someone finding a job at the show and now working for Deutsche or JP or HSBC, or do you know what I mean? someone walking through and finding their business partner, or something ticking in their brain from a session that you've said about property, and then they're like, damn, that's what I need to do. Like, for me, those are like the W's, those are like the wins when we get those personal like stories, and there's so many of those which sometimes I don't know. It's only until people come up and tell me and tell the team. I think the L's, it's just the graft, the grind. I think no one really knows how much it takes to run a business, to scale a business, to have a team, to, team that comes with loads of things, paying monthly salaries, office space, and just dealing with people. People are the best, you can say, best and worst part of the team, because you need your people to like create things and create a good environment, but equally people are people and they have personal things that can affect them as well. So it's also like understanding as a leader, like empathy and things like that. So I think that is like the graft of actually creating a business, and the hard work and the things that you have to give up on, like maybe the time, maybe for this time I can't spend time with, I've got to be away from my missus and my kids for this amount of time because I've got to execute this. Those are like kind of like that. I would say they are a bit of the L's, isn't it? Because they're the most important people when you think of it. But you have to do these certain things. So it's also about getting the balance as well. How do you balance the graft and just relaxing and going on holidays and enjoying Miami, like.
Come on,
bro. But thank you for sharing your time with us, man. I think that it's great for our audience to get an insight into what you do. And I think the one thing that's crazy, what you said, is that you're like one of my favorite entrepreneurs that's come on here, because like the UK Black Business Show can fully live past you, bro. Do you know how mental that is?
Come on.
That is crazy to me, innit? So before we wrap up, let the people know where they can find out more about the UK Black Business Show, UK Black Business Week, and your book.
Yes, sure. So Together We Thrive is available on Amazon and all major retailers, which is out now. And UK Black Business Show and UK Black Business Week is taking place this October from the 14th to the 19th of October. An incredible lineup. So you can buy tickets on ukblackbusinessshow.co.uk and also ukblackbusinessweek.com. So yeah, that's where we are. And follow myself as well on my platforms.
Perfect. Guys, that's been the Bread and Butter podcast. Thank you for listening. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, drop a comment.
Come on. We'll see you on the next one. Big up Raph, though. The one and only.
Thank you.
Thank you for doing what you do, because, I'm a living proof that what he's done has helped us all. So big up Raph, man. And make sure you catch us on the next one. Comment below. Make sure you comment below. Let us know what you liked. Ask your questions. Let us know who else you want us to get on. If there's anyone in business that you really like that you want us to bring on, let us know in the comments and we'll get them on, man.
Take care. See you in the next one. Peace.